Assalamualaikum
Hello.
and welcome. Yes, hi Hana. Hi everybody. Welcome to Great People TV with me, Ben Ibrahim and Hana Ismail. And thank you very much, AccuAnswer, for supporting Great People TV. But the bigger picture, thank you, AccuAnswer, for supporting Malaysia and the world because AccuAnswer wants to make sure that everybody checks their glucose levels so they can avoid getting diabetes, not just for themselves, but from their family as well. Kana?
Betul tu Ben. Jangan lupa juga untuk subscribe kami di Facebook, YouTube dan juga IG kami Great People TV. Tapi saya nak maklumkan kepada anda semua bahawa sahabat saya Ben ni tak berada di Malaysia sekarang ni. Tapi I was wondering lah kan sebenarnya dekat Estonia tu pukul berapa sebenarnya Ben sekarang ni?
Time kat sini is about 4 o'clock. Pukul
Wow.
4. So yeah.
4 pagi ke 4
So
petang Ben?
4 petang lah. Ya, kalau 4 pagi lah ini buta-buta dah. Dah tidur dah. Ya.
But seriously, how's Estonia and what are you doing there anyway?
Nanti I ceritakan you lah. Nanti I ceritakan you ya.
Okay.
So yeah, long story cerita panjang nanti I buy you a cup of coffee. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Tapi
So
sebenarnya untuk pengetahuan anda, bukan fans korang je yang berada di luar negara sekarang ini. Even our guest for tonight also bukan berada di Malaysia. Tapi mungkin dah bermastautin di negara lain. Cuba Ben terangkan sikit, Ben.
that's right. That's right. We have a very, very special guest. A lot of you who follow the Malaysian entertainment scene in film and music, she is no stranger to success. She is no stranger to the TV screen, the Instagram screen, the computer screen, the mobile screen, semua screen lah. So without further ado, all the way from Dubai, we'd like to welcome the one and only Sasha Saidin.
Hi.
Hai Sasha.
Apa khabar?
Guys.
Sehat?
Sehat, Alhamdulillah. How are you
Sasha
We're
guys?
looking
Seri-seri. We're good, Alhamdulillah.
Good, good.
Alhamdulillah,
So you're
very,
in
very good.
Asia band? Must be cold there right now, no?
Yeah, I think it is a bit. So yeah, nanti I cerita about that a little bit later. Yeah. So yeah, but we just we just focus. But look, Sasha, really, I just nak cerita dengan everybody sikit lah. I had the pleasure of working with Sasha for the Dubai Expo 2020. Alhamdulillah, we managed to MC the Malaysia Dubai Expo 2020 punya concert dan also the Malaysia Day dinner 8th and 9th of January last month. And I'll be honest with you, that Sasha, I heard so much about you, celebrity. You've gone through high times, challenging times, all the times. And then I was like, "You're so famous," and I said, "I was so nervous to work with you, but I was just telling my family when I came back, you are the easiest person in the world to work with, next to Hana, okay? And was this you're very forthright. You've got some great stories to tell, whether it's from your album, Palakon, your family, your son, your husband, your recent marriage. I think before pandemic, banyak cerita. So, and I'm sure our audience, if you nak tanya soalan, you want to ask questions, just please jump in. But Sasha, instead of asking the stereotypical question, how did you get into acting and all that? How did you get to Malaysia to Dubai? Can you tell us that story? First question lah.
Well, first of all, Ben, it was a pleasure working with you. Wasn't it fantastic, the Malaysia Day concert? Performing on
Betul,
that big
betul.
Alah, apa ni? I miss the show.
never mind.
Yalah,
There's always been
you sibuk.
more that will happen there's always things happening in Dubai. So I'm sure something will come up and I'm sure you'll be here soon for something, Hana, for sure. But to answer Ben's question, how did I end up here? Okay, well, I got married to my husband in January 2020, and he's been in the Middle East for about 15 years, off and on. So it's just natural for me to come over here.
Right.
I came, I would say, basically we got married January 2020, and then came here, me on my own first, with our son, and then we went for Umrah, and in February, I think towards the end of February, when we were doing our Umrah, that's when we heard rumors about this COVID thing.
Right.
And then we came back to Dubai, and then I think within 1 week, 2 weeks, everything was just shut down, and we
Mm.
were like, "What is happening?" It was just like something that we've never experienced before. All the
Mm.
borders shut, and in a way, God is great. I was happy that actually my son was there with my mom.
Mm.
My dad is no longer around, so everything's kind of worked out quite
Mm.
well.
I see.
Right.
Tapi
Um,
kan Sasha, bila kita tengok kan, membuat keputusan untuk berhijrah ke negara luar bukanlah satu keputusan yang mudah. Lagi-lagilah di musim pandemik. Bayangkan kita baru nak cuba hidup bersama dengan suami kan. Lepas tu tanpa keluarga di sisi because Malaysia is your life. Jadi macam mana you menghadapinya secara mentally, physically and emotionally. Bayangkan you dua orang aja dekat Dubai
Yeah.
ni, tak ada family lain pun. Ha.
Um, Pertama sekali masa kita orang masa Syah datang sini, sebelum tu memang Syah pernah duduk di Dubai untuk beberapa bulan. Waktu bukan beberapa bulan, tapi it was like a long holiday sebab abang
Hmm.
Syah pernah duduk kat Dubai. So memang dah familiar dengan Dubai. Um, and I like to travel, so I'm the type of person yang I like to take public transport. Kat Malaysia juga I like to take public transport. So it was a big adventure for me when I came here. And having, of course, my husband kat sini pun, dia pun very, macam mana nak cakap, he's very adventurous and very like, okay, whatever comes, comes, So when the pandemic happened, I think in a way, because before that, dia memang seorang kat sini. So that's why I said, God is great, everything worked out. Otherwise, he would have been alone also here by himself. So I was here with him, and then our son was with my mom. And for us in Dubai, lockdown tak lama. Kita cuma
Hmm.
experience lockdown sekali, once only, I think in March, and that was for maybe a month or so. And
Okay.
then we came out of lockdown. There were strict rules implemented, but we were never like apa ni, kena duduk rumah sahaja for a long time. We were still allowed to go out and stuff. And because me and my husband, we decided to take the vaccine as soon as we could, because I don't know if you know, but UAE government worked together with the makers or the people who came up with Sinopharm vaccine, and they actually started trials here in middle of the year. I believe May, June, somewhere around there. So by September to October, it was the trials were done, and they were satisfied with the results and everything that came back with those that had taken the vaccine during the trials. And we were the first to put our hands up. And so we took our first vaccine in December 2020 and second vaccine in January 2020. And that's when I came back to Malaysia for a while. So it was something that we experienced together. So it wasn't too bad actually sebenarnya. And like I said, memang Syah suka travel, and I've done quite a few traveling shows. So I was in South Africa for about 5 weeks with a
nice,
training
nice.
program, and we were literally moving from day to day, checking into different hotels, living in a van. But it was so much fun. So I guess that's the Sagittarius in me, where
Hmm.
I like new adventures, I like new things, new places, new people.
Suka kan positive
Nice.
outlook daripada Sasha ni kan, sebab kalau kita tengok mungkin orang may look at it negatively, but subhanallah, coming from you, always a positive person. So I'm not surprised lah. I'm not surprised.
Mm. Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Tapi thanks for sharing those stories, Sasha, and great questions, Hana. Tapi Sasha, I nak tanya lah. I mean, our topic tonight is always an entertainer. I
Yeah.
mean, I've got a funny story to tell you lah. I think that's why I got when we were in Dubai. I took my phone, I asked you to sing, and like my wife and my family could sing almost everything from all these songs to when you were starting, because you started your career quite young, and then
Yeah.
like in high school and everything. And even though you're from a Western family, I mean, you've got Western values in your family, but you very got much got Asian Islamic values in your family, and it's so
Yes.
nice to see. Someone can embrace both worlds, sort of thing. Not easy, but you've done it quite well.
Yes.
Tapi tell us lah, where you are right now as always an entertainer. Sebab dulu you were hot stuff. Not to say that you're not hot stuff now. It's different. Your albums on
Yeah.
TV,
Yeah.
newspapers, journalists making up stories about you, journalists saying good
Yeah.
things about you. You had to tell off the press. You had to gaddle with the press. I mean, which is part of your job. Cutting the rumors. You were like hot stuff, and I mean, you were always in the newspaper article. Now it's different. Now
Yeah.
it's a completely different ballgame. But one thing I admire about you is you work very hard at it. I remember in Dubai, your husband was videoing every movement you did when you were on stage when we were emceeing. You were doing videos all the time. You're still doing videos all the time. So tell us about that entertainer of you then and now, and which direction are you heading to? Because it's different now, and I'm sure it's a bit different now that you're in another country, a little bit more challenging, but there's some opportunities there as well.
Yeah. Always an entertainer. That was really interesting that you picked that as the title, because I think we even had that conversation, and I think that's why maybe that stuck in your mind. Um, I've always, yes, I started with doing TV commercials when I was 7, and then doing catalogs when I was 12, 13. I actually joined Elite after I finished my SPM, because I promised my parents that, I would work really hard, and I got quite good results for my
Alhamdulillah. Yeah.
SPM. So, like how kalau in UK or in Europe, people take a gap year after they finish school, right? And then they say, okay, after my gap year, I'm gonna go to university, right? So that's kind of like was my idea with Elite. I was like, okay, mom, I've got this. A friend asked me to go for audition for this girl band, because I did like singing. They knew I like singing. Um, so I said, okay, I'm gonna go for this audition. It's just gonna be like maybe 1, 2 albums, and then I'll go back to studying. I'll go to university, not knowing that Elite would stick around for 25 years. This year is 26 years, our 26th anniversary. So what happened was, I just continued with Elite. I just went with the flow, and we were just enjoying ourselves. We were young girls, fresh out of school, 17, 18, and we were traveling the world. We got to go see many places, and our fans were fantastic. Until today, we have like really, really super duper fantastic fans. They're called Elite Super Warriors, and I did tell myself I would want to go back to studying, to university, which I did. I think I was 23, 24, somewhere around there, and I did my diploma. I did well my diploma, and then I went to university. I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Business Information Systems, and I said to myself at the time, okay, that's it. No more entertainment. I just want to work, because I really wanted to work in London, because I studied in UK, and I actually applied for an intern job, and I actually had got a job, and I was settling in, and then my parents or my dad was like, "Oh, come back. We're opening up a family business," so they just bought a franchise or something like that. So just be a while, just a year, just help us, sort it out. And so I went back, and then I got called back into the entertainment, and then that was it. And I went back to England again, and that just keeps happening in whichever country that I might move to, or that I think I'm settling in. And then, for example, like here in Dubai, the first year I was like really quiet. I didn't do much. I just was a housewife. And then with the Dubai 2020, I mean Expo 2020 Dubai, I got called to do the official launch for the Malaysia Pavilion, and then that just led to another job, then another job, and another emceeing job, and I've actually done also 2 singing jobs here as well on my own, which was a bit because I'm so used to singing with my other girls in the band, so that was really,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it was fun. It was fun, you know. So yeah, definitely, just I keep getting pulled back into uh, that life as an
Yeah.
entertainer. So, but you know, I love it. I love it. I think I guess I've never really known anything other than that, which is fine. You know, everybody has their own paths.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm also happy being a nobody, and I'm not just saying that. I'm happy to just nobody knowing who I am, um, which is fine. Also, I don't really I feel that I don't crave the limelight. I mean, of course, sometimes you want to be like um, what you call it. You know, you want to get noticed or whatever. But most of the time, I'm happy to just stay under the radar. So.
Yeah, yeah. And what would you tell? I mean, one question before I shoot back to Hanala. What would you tell celebrities? Like what did you learn about yourself from TV world, movie world, to digital world? Because it's not easy. Being in your 40s and like all of a sudden newspaper, TV. That's the way to get yourself visible. And all of a sudden you have to be a content creator on Instagram 24/7. So what's your advice to those people making that leap? Because it's not easy.
Oh, it's not easy, definitely. I wouldn't say that uh, I'm a pro at it. I'm still learning. There's still a lot that I
You're pretty
don't know.
good. Yeah.
But I've always been interested in social media. I think I was one of the first. I mean, back then when we had ICQ, Yahoo Messenger, you know, when we had the dial-up modem and all that, I was one of the first to like be on that and staying up and chatting to different people and you know and now something else just keeps coming up. Now it's all about TikTok and stuff and all that. And before TikTok came, I was already doing TikTok with Musically and all that. So I'm sure in the next couple of months something else will come up. So you just go with it, I guess. And but don't let it consume you too much. You know, just you have to have some time for your friends and family. And yeah, on that day, my husband was with me. He was videoing.
Is it a good job?
He does, he does like videoing me, so which is good. But we also use it to document some of our hobbies. Like now we like because as you know it's winter in Dubai, so we've been going off roading in our 4-wheel drive and just the two of us, and so we document that. So sometimes it's not all for work. Sometimes it is for fun or leisure, and but our followers. I mean, I always say this. Growing up, I loved the Spice Girls, and I mean until now today, right? I love the Spice Girls, and I'm like, what is it about the Spice Girls that I love? It's like that, I used to buy everything, the lunchbox, their bed sheets, their everything, you name it, calendar, everything. I would want to get. So it's just this thing about I want to know what they're doing. I want to know where they're going. I want to know who they're with. So I guess that's the same thing like now. You have social media, so I will be able to. I still follow the Spice Girls on social media, so I know what Mel C is doing. I know what Baby Spice is doing. So sometimes I don't like. Sometimes my husband will be like, "We don't want to show the whole world what our living room looks like," but
Mm.
sometimes you can't help it. So you have
Mm.
to know where your boundaries are. But
Mhm.
young people, I guess that's their life now. That's what they've grown up with. Like my son, he's all about tech, and he's not really on social media, but he'll tell me like he's very big on YouTube, so he'll tell me like, oh, this person said that, this is cool, that's not cool. So I guess if I need to keep up, I have my son as well to advise me. So
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Cool. Nah.
Itulah tapi sebenarnya I'm very curious lah macam
di Dubai kan, macam mana lah agaknya kerja housework in Dubai kan, maybe boleh cerita sikit kan macam mana experience working in Dubai, adakah macam orang sana lebih menerima kita yang mungkin orang asing dekat situ kan, and how's the entertainment industry like in Dubai? I mean, is it active, like is it flourishing atau macam mana? I'm quite curious on that part lah sebenarnya.
Well, to be honest, Syah taklah banyak sangat betul-betul aktif. Banyak yang Syah berkaitan dengan expo, berkaitan dengan Malaysia Pavilion, berkaitan dengan mungkin ada kementerian yang datang ke Dubai dan mengadakan event. So there are approximately about 6,000 Malaysians in UAE. So there is a lot of us here. So whenever ada event macam ni, selalunya they will want a Malaysian to MC or to try and perform. Of course lah kalau boleh kan. Other than that, though, I have been to a few fashion shows, but to get into the actual UAE market, you could, but there is a lot of talent here. Because you have to remember, people come to Dubai from all over the world to look for work. So when I came here, that my intention wasn't to work. So apa yang Syah buat kat sini sebenarnya, for me, I really would say it's for minat, untuk passion. It's my passion. It's something that I've always known, like I said just now. But it is very, very, very competitive here. And kalau ada rezeki sekiranya Syah dapat untuk bekerja dengan di Dubai, mungkin di luar daripada expo atau di luar daripada acara-acara yang diaturkan oleh Malaysians or Malaysian companies, that would be fantastic. So we'll see what the future holds.
Nice. And then, Sasha, I mean, is there any one thing that, like, I mean, you had a good career, and if you finish tomorrow, I think you'll be quite happy. I think you told me that the last time we MC together. Tapi, there's always that one thing that we always wanted to do. Last week, we interviewed some people about the modern slavery trade, and then they want to make a movie from that book that they're doing, Sylvia and Matt. And I just said to them jokingly, Hana can act, and I've always wanted to act in Orang Putih movie. Doesn't have to be Orang Putih lah, an English speaking movie. And I want to work in McDonald's and serve. Would you like fries with that?
I've
So
always
that's
said
like,
that actually. I told my friend that first year I was here, I was like, do you know, I really want to work at McDonald's or something, like, and when people don't know me and they won't judge me, and like Sasha's working at McDonald's, which is nothing wrong with that anyway.
Right.
And
exactly.
like just work at a fast food restaurant, just work, especially at where people drive up to the window.
Yeah.
I think that would be so interesting. But
Yeah. But no, but where I was going with that is there anything in entertainment that one, like, if you rub the genie and the genie came out and said, Sasha, you have three wishes, like, what would be that bucket list wish be in entertainment, Sasha Saidin, so you can say I was the ultimate entertainer, the happy entertainer.
well, first of all, I think I've pretty much covered most of the areas of entertainment. I've done modeling, I've done hosting, traveling, so I'm pretty lucky in that sense. Then second of all, I think if I were to do anything, I don't think that I'm not saying that I'm great. I'm, like I don't need to prove anything to anybody. But if I were to do anything, it would be for myself. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I need to go out there and prove to. I think I'm quite happy with what achievements that I've accomplished so far. But if you were to ask me if there's one thing, okay, let's say from acting, if I could, one role that I could do, or on a set that I could be on, would be like something like Bridgerton. You know Bridgerton? So something like from the Victorian era, and I would dress up and or something like Jane Austen or something like that. Like where I meet Mr. Darcy. The costumes and and being in that old English countryside. Oh, that would be fantastic. That would be really to be on the set and work with people. Um, who have that experience in producing such a big production that looks like it really was during the Victorian times. And yeah, that would be really, really good. I have a
So,
friend
so
who's in England, and she sometimes she's actually Malaysian, but she's lived and worked in England for the longest time, and she sometimes takes extra parts in stuff like this as an extra. And I'm like, oh, you're so lucky. Even if you just have to stand there and just like not even say a single word, I'd be like, that would be fantastic. It'd be so good.
so how is your Pride and Prejudice British accent? Ada tak?
Um, Probably I would have to practice. Um,
Can
I
you
would
do
have
a Pride?
not easy
Can you,
though.
can you do a Pride and Prejudice impersonation now?
Oh, put me on the spot. No, I probably could do an English accent, but because in England, there's so many counties, and just like how in Malaysia, we have the Kelantanese accent, and
Mm.
even from Perak, a person from Perak would know if you are genuinely a person from Perak with Perak accent. So same thing with England. They're very like, particular with who they're, who's trying to do what accent. It's not something that they take lightly. So I wouldn't want to mess about with that. I probably would have to take like a dialect coach, or at least
Mm.
speak from that county.
You don't want to do a British accent for us now, Skit?
But I might screw it up though.
Doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong.
I don't know. Maybe. Hmm.
Okay, we're gonna. Okay, never mind. You think about it. We're gonna make you sing later. Hannah's gonna make you sing. So Hannah,
Oh,
I don't. I don't have. I only got one or two more questions left. I think. So Hannah, anything that you wanna add on? I know you're a big fan of Sasha.
Tak adalah sebab I ni juga membesar dengan lagu-lagu Elite kan, lagu Tamparan Wanita dan sebagainya, Trauma. So I membesar dengan lagu-lagu Elite masa I kecil-kecil dulu kan. Jadi macam kalau I kan, sebab I sekarang ni I'm already in my late 30s lah kan. So I akan macam cakap, oh the good old days. Dan saya pasti sebenarnya Sasha pun ada juga terkenang zaman-zaman dulu kan. Macam kalau kita tengok sekarang ni kan, kita dah gen apa? Sekarang kita dah gen Alpha ke? Are we in Alpha gen now? Now is a Gen Alpha, right?
We're in Gen something like
We
we're
don't we
like
don't call ourselves Are we millennials? We're not millennials,
udah
right?
tua
What
dah
gen
nah.
are we? So that's what I nak cakap. So macam kita tengok gen sekarang kan, they
The
have
next door.
different advantages and different disadvantages kan. Kalau you
Yeah.
lah kan, what sebagai gen apa? Sekejap, kalau Sasha dengan kita semua kita gen apa
Sasha
What
and I
gen
are
are
Gen
we
Y.
I rasa
You
I gen
Gen
Y
X.
jugalah. I gen Y
No.
jugalah.
Are you Gen Y?
Tapi yelah, sebab kita because masa zaman I lah baru kita start ada internet of things, apa benda semua-semua tu. So I nak
IoT,
tanya you lah Sasha
yes.
kan, what would you be most grateful for zaman because kita live in a period where kita discover internet dan kita ada period yang kita tak ada internet juga. So what would you be most grateful for lah? Compared to this generation yang lahir-lahir je ada internet.
I think I had this discussion with my husband as well, and I think I'm gonna give an answer that's probably gonna sound very cliche, but I think
Mm.
every generation has something to be proud of. No generation is better than another generation. For example, when it comes to music, I grew up listening to the music that my parents used to listen to. So during the disco era, Bonnie M and all that. At the same time, my mom would listen to a lot of classical music, and then I grew up with my older brother listening to the 80s music, late 70s music, and then of course I listened to the 90s music.
Mm.
And so like yesterday we were watching the Super Bowl halftime performance. They had Dr. Dre and Eminem and Snoop Dogg, and we're like, oh, this is our songs, our music. We're like, no, but we still listen to the music these days. But of course,
Right.
we're like, oh no, but the music when we were young was much better, had more soul, had more funk, you know. So I think every generation is going to say that, but you know, it's you have to be in that moment when you are uh, absorbing everything, and then you appreciate it. I think right now I'm at the stage where I'm just like I'm not absorbing anymore. It's just like okay, I have my own music, whatever music that's playing now. I'm just like, I mean, other than music is famous on TikTok, I don't
Mm.
really keep up with what's on the top 10. I mean, back then we had American Top 40, you know, with Casey
Mm.
Kasem. I remember just listen to it on the radio and have
Right.
my cassette standby, right, to record
Yeah.
whatever song that. But if you ask me now what's number one on the charts, or, you know, I wouldn't know. But it doesn't
Right.
mean that I don't appreciate the music. Doesn't mean I think
Mm.
the music is not good.
Mm.
It's just you know that it's for the younger generation. So
Right.
I never have any regrets. I never like to compare. I never say which is good, which is bad. It is as it is. Yeah, it is
Mm.
as it is.
Yeah. I guess saya rasa sekarang ni macam we are presented with too many options and too many platforms and channels pun. Dan kita macam okay which one which one which one Kalau macam dulu kan, because we are limited with choices and options. So I guess we tend to appreciate satu benda tu more. I suppose lah, I tak tahulah. Maybe kot.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
maybe, yeah. But I'm okay. I mean, when I have my Spotify and you know, I just want to play that. You're right. You know, now we have so much choice. You just put on Spotify. If we think of this singer or song, we just play
Yeah.
on Spotify, and then okay, that's it. You listen to a few songs, everything, and then you turn it off, and then you just go and do whatever you want to do. Whereas
Right.
like before, it was like you would have to go to the shop and get the cassette, and
Mm.
then go home and put it in the cassette player, and then
Mm.
rewind pun kadang-kadang you have to use the pen, like, thingy, you know, or
Right.
you had to buy a CD. Sometimes after a few times the CD would have scratches on it and then wouldn't be able to play it. You
Mm.
know, so those challenges, I guess.
Mm. Right.
Um, well, now everything is just at the tip of your, you know, just tekan je. Or you don't even have to tekan. You can just say, Alexa, play blah blah blah. You know,
Right.
and it plays. But
True.
yeah, that's technology for you. That's just things evolving and things going forward. So
Yeah, sorry Ben, I nak tanya sikit lagi. Which question I yang tadi tu will lead to this next question kan? Sebab kalau kita tengok, you rasa dengan option yang banyak with the channels yang banyak, platform yang banyak, do you find it easier to find inspiration untuk you perform dan sebagainya, ataupun you rasa dulu lebih senang ilham tu nak masuk ke macam mana? Or is it the same?
um, ilham in the sense that I think I get more ideas. For example, I have a solo album, and in the solo album, there's 10 songs, and I've so far there's been 9 video clips, and the last uh, 5 video clips I directed with my group of friends. We came up with storyboard and everything. And I think with the internet and everything, it was much easier for us to do research and get ideas. But at the same time, what's not so good about that is that then everybody starts having the same ideas, and then everything starts to blend together. So I think one of the challenges these days is trying to be original, trying to come up with something new that people have never seen before. So that may be difficult because before, there was always something that maybe somebody else didn't think of, and then now it's just you just go on the internet and everybody is creating, everybody is writing, everybody is producing, which is also good. It's a good thing, but like I said, sometimes it can be hard to be original. So that can be a challenge, I think, and especially for the young people, I guess. But because they're the ones who are, that's their bread and butter, I guess. And
Right.
for me, it's kind of like something that um, not a hobby, but something that I do out of interest. Where somebody might have to do it, whether it has to do with graphics or animation. They have to come up with something new all the time, and that's part of their work to pay the bills. So I'm sure there's a big pressure there to keep being on your toes in that sense.
Cool,
Faham?
cool, cool. And just my final question, Sasha, is that before we ask you to sing, so think about a song that you want to sing, okay? Is that I don't want to ask you the cliche question and say, what's your advice for the younger generation to be like you, and so forth and so forth. But the question that I have for you is that all entertainers have an idol and they have a hero. I mean, in the industry lah, and in my opinion, you should always use that hero and idol, and to be better than that idol and hero. If your idol and hero is Hans Isaac, be better than Hans Isaac. If it's Keanu Reeves, be better than Keanu Reeves. Be better than Will Smith. Be better than P. Ramlee. Whoever lah, siapa-siapa. So who would two parts to the question lah? Who was your idol, and why is it important to have an idol, and what's your advice for them to try to emulate that idol in that entertainer's respective career?
Um, wow, that's a very adult question. um,
It's an adult show.
Somebody that I really, really admired, though, and I read a lot of books about her life story and everything, was Audrey Hepburn. And I really liked
Nice.
her because she had started off, she had a very hard life, um, and she was oftentimes rejected or said she wasn't good enough for Hollywood at that time. But uh, she said, "No, I'm going to do this." She really liked acting and singing. The acting, of course, as we know, she did do well. There was and I believe she won one Academy Award one year. And singing, she was shot down quite a few times for her singing, especially in the movie My Fair Lady. She actually sang for the songs in My Fair Lady, but ended up not using her voice. They actually used Julie Andrews' voice, the lady from Sound of Music. So, but she was very upset with that, and so you know that goes to show that there's always ups and downs, and but she kept, because she loved acting and she loved singing and she loved dancing. She said, "This is what I'm going to do," and then she aged gracefully. That's another thing I liked about her. She was very calm in going into her mature years. you know, and she did a lot of charity work. She worked with UN a lot, and she actually went to a lot of the poor countries, and she worked very closely with all these charity organizations. And she was just very down to earth and humble, and even to the last few years when she died of cancer, but
Mm.
she was still, you know, doing charity work and still doing interviews and very humble. And I mean, yeah, she's just somebody that I looked up to because everybody kept saying, "Oh, she's just another pretty face," you know. And but she was so talented, and the fact that she had such a quite dark history, meaning that um, in her childhood it wasn't very pleasant when she grew up, but she turned out to be such a fantastic person who gave back so much to society. So yeah, I would say Audrey Hepburn.
Nice, nice. Now, any questions? Last one before I get Sasha to sing her favorite Melayu song to entertain
Yo,
all our
I
viewers.
nak tanya you, Ben, what's your favorite song from Elite?
Oh, don't ask me that. It's Jahat now. I didn't grow up. Okay, I didn't grow up during. I wasn't in Malaysia during that time. Okay, jangan lah. Jahat tau ni. Jahat.
Ada, Ben, manis lah senyuman awak, Ben. Serius, senyuman
Ya,
awak manis,
betul.
Ben. Senyuman awak
Betul.
sangat-sangat manis. Serius. And sebenarnya lagu antara lagu-lagu Elite yang saya suka adalah Manisnya Senyumanmu. Tapi I nak cakap tadi kan, macam tadi Sasha cerita dengan kita kan, kenapa dia rasa Audrey Hepburn antara dia punya idols kan, sebab apa? Kalau kita nampak pun Ben, penglibatan Sasha pun dalam bidang charity pun memang sangat-sangatlah aktif. Bayangkan masa I bekerja dengan Awani dulu kan, I remember how active she was in TFTN. And she was a spokesperson for Teach for the Needs tau. And I'm like, Sasha Saidin ni dia buat macam, you buat tu macam bukannya for fame ke apa, but you seriously believe in those works. So I rasa macam, Sasha Saidin ni macam humble-nya. You know, I sangat-sangat suka you punya approach. Bila you buat charity, memang you betul-betul turun padang and you speak so passionately about that charity work. So itu dah satu,
Yeah.
I rasa satu karakter you yang I sangat-sangat adore. You jenis yang macam tak kisah. You faham tak? You tak kisah. You don't do it for fame, but you solely do it because you believe in it and because you rasa there's a need for you to contribute back to the society. And that's what I love so much about you, Sasha.
Oh, thank you.
Hmm.
I really did enjoy working with Teach for the Needs because the people who were behind Teach for the Needs were actual teachers and lecturers. And my mom being a teacher for 30 years, so I knew how hard a teacher works and their passion. I actually, me and my mom we had a kindergarten for a while, and I taught some young children in nursery. I was interested in Teach for the Needs. We would go to like somewhere out in Klang or something, and they would ask me to read a short story to these children and kids, and some of them did not understand a single word I was saying. You know, but they wanted me to speak in English because that was the whole point. Teach for Needs, because they wanted to
Yes.
teach English to these children. But it was funny because maybe because of my acting background, once I read to them and I was very animated and I would make all these sound effects and noises, and they would just sit there like, and then back of my mind I'm like, they don't really know what I'm talking about. But of course it was like it's in the books, but it was just so satisfying. You know, the kids would come up to me and give me a hug and they would say, "Oh, terima kasih," and they would speak to me later in Malay, but they really, really appreciate it, you know. Sometimes you live in the world, sometimes the entertainment world can be very cold and harsh as well.
Okay.
You get a lot of people who do critique you and
Betul.
you know,
So
they
true. Very true.
yeah, and they think that they have the
100%.
right to say anything to you, you know.
Mm.
But these kids, you know, they really put everything back into perspective for me, and I think that's why I really liked working for them. I also worked with a lot of homeless people, and that was I used to go to childcare and we would have like a help desk, and we would talk to all these homeless people. And sometimes it was so funny, because not funny, but it was really moving, because sometimes they would come up to me and ask me how I am, and sometimes it moved me to tears. I was like, "You're asking how I am? You're sleeping rough, on the side of this, and you're asking if I'm okay." I think at the time I was going through my divorce or something,
Right.
and they knew, I guess they read
Oh,
stuff and all that,
yeah.
and they're concerned about me. So I'm like, what do I have to complain about? So it is really good when you do charity, because it does it does humble you. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was very happy to work with Teach for Needs, and apart from the other charities that I do as well. I think I've done some charity work with Ben as well,
Yep.
for cancer as well. We did, I think, I
Yeah, we
believe.
did. We did junior NBA. We did cancer. We did a lot of the Dutch Lady campaigns, and I mean, seriously, Sasha, such a. I mean, I'll be honest. From the
Hmm.
outset, from the newspaper cuttings. I mean, Hannah put me on the spot there just now about your song, but I remember when I
Tak
first.
apa, sebab ni lagu girl song, Ben. So you are
No, but
excused.
nah. I mean, I'll be honest. When Sasha was booming and rocking and everything, I wasn't in
Uh,
Malaysia, so
mm,
and I mean, so my knowledge then of the entertainment scene was very limited, and I mean, for me, I like to interview Sasha because she got such a great story to tell. When I met her in Dubai, I worked with her properly in Dubai.
mm.
She's like a book, such an interesting book, and it's not about entertain. I mean, yes, she's an entertainer, but there's so much behind it.
Yeah.
I always
experiences.
tell people that people do say I like to tell stories with you, because I like to talk a lot. But I've had a lot of happen in my life, whether it's from work, my love life, or family, or whatever. And it's so funny, because in UK they're so big on autobiographies, right? Like
Yes, yes,
you might.
yes. You should write one. You should write
I
one.
know. Somebody might be in the industry for 2 or 3 years, and they already have a book out about their life. So some of my friends are like, "You should." I was like, "I can't. Could there be too many people who be like, but." I was like, "No, no,
Mm,
no, no. Unless I can like change the names of all these people, but people who know me, who followed my career, they won't know who I'm talking about anyway. And I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to put anybody on the spot. I wouldn't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. So, although yeah, I do have interesting stories to tell, funny stories to tell sometimes, but I don't think that would be possible.
But musically, Hannah, I
mm.
have. Don't laugh at me because I'm very.
Okay.
I mean, I'm proud of it. I do share
Right.
one musical interest with you and Sasha. I am a
Mm.
fan. Not was. I am
Mm-hmm.
still a fan of the Spice Girls.
Yay!
Stop.
Ooh,
Stop
wow.
right there. Thank you very much. You need someone with a human touch. So there you go. Okay. And
Yeah.
this show, Great People TV, is all about showing the human touch. Like Sasha was saying, she's a book. That's
Mm,
what I want the stories that she wants to tell tonight. Yes, she's an entertainer, and everybody knows that. And
betul.
you look on YouTube for whatever, whatever. But tonight we go beyond the tube. Tonight we tell the stories of who she is, what made her to what she is, and what she wants to. The journey continues for Sasha. So
Mm.
Sasha, I mean, but take nothing away, Sasha. We always know you for your singing. A lot of my wife's family friends are still in love with you, and they mimic and sing and dance to your songs. Can you just sing us your favorite? Not, I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of favorites, but maybe like the first song that you sing every morning in the shower from your days of entertainment.
Oh wow. Um, but I think because Hana said manisnya senyumanmu,
Okay,
and
boleh,
that is
boleh.
actually also one of my favorite songs, manisnya
Okay,
senyumanmu, one
no
of my
issue.
favorite beat songs, because it is such a happy song, and uh, even for me, even though I sing it, but immediately when I hear that song come on, I can't help but smile, because it
Mm.
just has such a happy, positive. aura, but and it's not
Hmm.
about it, yeah, it is a love song, but it's kind of like a cheeky schoolgirl kind of love song, I guess. But there's something so innocent about it that it is
Right.
one of my favorite songs also. So I think I will sing that one, if that's okay.
Yay,
Please.
my favorite. I have many favorites tapi okay, those are one of my favorites lah. Sesuatu dalam dirimu, trauma, tiba-tiba keluar semua benda.
Hey, let the lady
Leading to
sing lah, Hana.
sugar. But yeah, give it
Okay.
away for Sasha Saidin.
Ku rasa satu dunia sudah mengerti perasaanku ini. Mengapa, oh mengapa takkah kau sedar ku mendamba, ataupun di kau sengaja diam berpura memendam rahsia. Segeralah, oh segera, ku tahu kau hanya bermain masa. I think I might have screwed up the lyrics there, but
Horace.
something like that. This is a special edition.
That was awesome. You know, you have given me an idea, and I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to be the composer of it. Seriously, I don't know how we're going to do this. I need to speak to our technical head of technical, Sophia. But I think we do a short show. You, Vince, Hannah, maybe Jack Victor. I mean, and just sing a few songs. Great
Cool.
People TV singing a few songs. Nah,
Yeah.
you on board on
So
that?
at least, oh my god, Masya Allah, yes. At least I tak miss any concerts lepas ni. Because I missed one concert in Dubai with you guys. So I don't
Oh,
want to miss this one.
okay, okay. Well, yeah. So because Hannah's voice is quite nice as well. So
Oh,
my voice
nice.
is
Aduh lah.
I want to hear Hana
You're
sing.
just an aspiring bathroom singer je. Sasha, tak apalah Sasha.
Alah.
Dia
Sikit
yeah.
bukan
sikit.
No,
elite Sasha. Dia jadi terpelengit. Dia bukan elite, dia terpelengot. Macam tu.
I was bukan elite, selit. Bukan
Selit. Okay.
Aduh
Well,
lah.
look, ladies and gentlemen out there, and all ladies watching as well. Terima kasih for watching another great episode of Great People TV. And Sasha, you know what? When you come back to Malaysia, please send me a WhatsApp. If it's safe, Hana and I will meet up with you for makan. If it's safe, like inshallah. But if it's not, if you ever want to just catch up, tell a good story, sing a few songs, send me a
Yeah.
WhatsApp also, and then
Yeah.
we'll happily chat to you on Great People TV because you are a great person. So, Sasha
Oh,
Saidin, thank you so much and stay in touch, babe. Thanks, yeah.
thanks, man. Thanks, Hana. You guys take care and
Thank you,
stay safe.
Sasha. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Humble kan? Very down to earth kan? Masya Allah.
Put
Tapi
me on
legend kot.
legenda, and you put me on the spot there.
Tak ada sebab memang I tahu you tak ada kat sini masa lagu Elite tengah top gila saja je.
No, but you know what? I'm just gonna be very
Hmm.
honest with you and the audience, Hannah. You know me. I'm not a pretender or whatever. Like when I came back to Malaysia for the holidays,
Mm-mm.
the only groups that I saw when I went to Sungai Wang and all
Mm-mm.
those seat shops, in
Mm.
KL Plaza and all that place, like in Subang and all that.
Mm-mm.
There was a Innuendo.
Mm.
Um, who else was there? There was a
Ravage.
group. Rough Edge, yes. Oh my God, Rough Edge. There was a group called NRG and Soul Street who
Yeah.
didn't quite hit the heights. And
Yes.
then what's Lisa Sirani's husband's name?
KRU.
KRU. That's the one.
KRU.
So KRU and I had the pleasure of interviewing Norman when I worked for Awani when we worked together. So
Hmm.
I mean, and you know what? Nah,
Yeah.
like even though my knowledge of musicians then has always been a bit limited, but like, everybody's still around, trying
Yeah.
to relive
Yes.
that glory day or
Yeah, Masya Allah.
days.
Tapi Ben, the fact that you notice there's this greatness in Sasha tu, walaupun you tak dengar lagu dia tu, makes you a great person, and that's why we are here on Great People TV. Only
Alhamdulillah. But
great
no,
people recognize greatness. Macam tu.
no, thank you,
Nampak?
nah, thank you. I love it. That's what
Ah.
this is why we have my sister on this show. But it's true, and like to everybody out there,
Hmm.
you know, if you do think that there's someone great that we should interview, please send Hana an Instagram message. Please send me an Instagram message. Please send Great People TV an Instagram or Facebook message or YouTube message on our
Yeah.
email and just tell us who this guest is. I mean, I'll be honest with you, we have written
Hmm.
to Yuna, we have written to Melissa Higgins, we've written to Michael Bublé, and some of them said they couldn't do it. And people laugh at me when I say you wrote to Michael Bublé, but I said, yeah, why not? Just gotta
Kisah.
ask. Tanya
Buat
je.
je
Yeah,
lah.
buat aja kan.
Huh? Well,
So yeah,
at least we knock at the doors. Ha. Daripada
and he
korang
said, and he
lalu je tak
replied,
buat apa-apa.
replied. Hmm.
Hmm.
So there you go. So anyway, next week, everybody, we will be speaking to Francesca Luhong, James, the Miss Universe Malaysia. She will be on a show on Instagram. Yeah, I know tonight we were supposed to be on Instagram, but Sasha sent a message to us, I think yesterday or the day before, and said the Dubai government does not allow Instagram connection. I don't know why.
Hmm.
So
I
that's why we're on
see.
Facebook tonight. Minta maaf. Last week we promoted it as IG, but next
Okay.
week we will be on IG as well, and more guests
InsyaAllah.
coming up in March. So Hannah,
Right.
you okay?
Yeah, I had fun sebab I interview orang yang nyanyi lagu favourite I kot.
Yeah, no,
Mestilah
no, I'm just
best.
saying, are you okay? Because like you look so semangat, you look so upbeat. So actually, now one thing like when we say goodbye, I rasa sedih sikit, because I haven't seen you in person for a long time.
Kan?
So anyway, until then, anyway, my friend, you stay safe. Everybody out
You
there,
too.
please stay safe, and inshallah, we will catch up next week for our Great People TV interview on Instagram. Take care, everyone, and thanks for watching another
Bye.
episode of Great People TV. Assalamualaikum.